Rustin, let's move on to wide receivers. So, what's your take on the wide receivers? It's maybe this. I think we could agree, possibly the second deepest group on the team, on maybe only behind the defensive line. What's your take on the wide receivers this year?
I think for the first time since Josh Heupel's been there, we're going to see them go 6 deep. I think the first 3 are going to be Chris Brazzell, Squirrel White, Brew McCoy. But I think we're going to see a steady diet of Dante Thornton, Caleb Webb, and Chaz Nimrod. I don't think we're going to see anybody after that. I think the rest of those guys are buried on a depth chart behind, honestly, at least 3 of those guys are probably NFL players. So I think we'll go 6 deep for the first time since Josh has been there. I think those first 3 are special. I think you're going to see Squirrel White get a lot better because of lining up next to Chris Brazzell. Brazzell, all the highlight reel stuff they keep putting out on him, like that's intentional. That's for every defensive coordinator on their schedule. They want them to see what that kid can do, because it forces them to either have to play a lot of pressure man on him or go double coverage over the top. In either of those situations, that either means there's a safety one-on-one against Squirrel, or even better, an outside linebacker like a nickel who's trying to cover Squirrel. So Chris Brazzell makes Squirrel White really good, really fast.
Totally agree. And I agree with you about that first 6 group as well. I think we'll see Nathan Leacock probably in about 5 or 6 games this year. I think we'll see Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley in 4 games. The reason we mentioned this last time on the offensive line, you can play 4 games and still have a red shirt. So, give me your 4. It was UTC, Kent State, UTEP, and who was the 4th one?
Vanderbilt.
I love it. I agree totally, by the way.
They're the 4th worst team on our schedule.
Yeah, they are. You're exactly right. So I think that we will see those, which, I mean, think about what we just said. A 5-star wide receiver is going to play in 4 games in redshirt. Is probably what's going to happen. And Braylon Staley's probably every bit as good as Mike Matthews.
Yep.
And what a luxury that they don't need those guys to play right now. What a luxury. I mean, think about when Squirrel came. Squirrel played a decent amount as a freshman, a true freshman. And then he was starting the very next year. Okay.
Yeah.
Like we don't need those guys to contribute like we needed Squirrel to in the past and that kind of thing. Eric said the wide receiver room is a deep position group this season, tall and length, amongst all the wide receivers. I believe this is the best wide receiver room at Tennessee since Coach Heupel took over. Oh, no doubt.
This is the best wide receiver room at Tennessee in a very long time.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking like, okay, you know what? This is a good topic. We should talk about this in a whole other episode. This is the best wide receiver room since what year? I mean, like, you think about 2012, it was the year that could have been, right? We could have had Justin Hunter, Cordero Patterson, and Derrick Rogers all in the field at the same time. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. We lost one of them. But that's just 3 dudes. Like, they're legit 9 deep right now. 6 comfortably. I mean, like, maybe none of those guys have the same level of talent as the 3 I just mentioned. But collectively as a whole, you're that deep. I mean, when was the last time? I mean, this is a deep room. It's a very deep room.